guys, sorry I am late. Had an appointment and already had to make this live video a little bit later than usual because I had an appointment, and then just mum life, getting my son's shoes on because he still can't tie laces. So I was a little bit late jumping on. I hope you're all well. I'm just bringing up the video so I can see your comments, and then we can get, hello Laura, I'm glad you got your catalogues today. I'm hoping this will work. I never know with the comments whether they're going to be nice to me or not. I can see them until I flip my camera around, and then it's a pain and hard. Has anyone tried these Cotties? If you're from Australia, Cotties sparkling. I think it might be, I don't really know. 0 sugar. It's probably really bad for you. I don't know. But I'm just trying one because they're in the fridge. I'm really thirsty. So, hello Cassandra. Welcome to today's video in our week of doing some Christmas cards with the gnome for the holidays, which is hiding on me and it's probably right underneath my nose. Yes, it is. This one, so we're featuring, hello Mayaswari and Sandy. So this week we're featuring the gnome for the holidays stamp set, and I have made 3 different cards featuring this stamp set. Look at my flyaways. And they're all a little bit different, and today we're also going to be featuring another stamp set in the video, which is the Palette Thought stamp set. I know this is backwards, but we'll be able to flip this around in just a tick. So we're just going to be using the wood plank from this one, and then this stamp set here. So if you haven't watched my videos yet from the last couple of weeks, I'm doing a stamp set or product feature. Sorry about that. Hold on. So then I'm doing a product feature per week, and this week is the gnome for the holidays. And then if you purchase, as a customer, if you purchase $30 or more and use the host code in the video description, you can get the week's make and take packets. So this is all 3 cards with everything included apart from the stamped images, for free. And then if you spend $50 or more in my store and use the same host code, you'll also get my monthly gift, which is the Rainbow Glimmer Paper, and the October Stampin' Society tutorial free also. So lots of goodies to give away. If you are not a customer, maybe you're a demonstrator already, or you live internationally, you can still watch this video completely free. It's a bit of a live crafting session / tutorial for free for you. I love to share what I love doing with everyone, so this one here is totally free. Just join in, have some fun crafting, chat with me. I love chatting to you. And then I try and feature some new techniques and fun products and different ways of using them. These live videos are always put on my YouTube channel afterwards, and I link them back to my blog. So all of the cards that I feature, can someone say hello to Anne for me? I don't think Anne can hear me. So, Anne, I live in Tasmania, Australia. And so I'll have this blog post up tonight after the video goes live on my page. So you'll be able to check back all the images and supply lists, etc. So today we're also going to be using the fun Stamparatus, which is our stamp positioning tool, and a hinge step stamping technique that I was inspired to do after seeing our lovely CEO Sarah Douglas use it on her recent live video on her page. And I have linked that video on my blog post, which I'll share tonight. So I'll flip around. Don't forget, if you're watching the replay, to let me know you're watching the replay. And check out the video description if you want to see all the links to where to order these products and how to get these things for free. Yep, so Anna is deaf. She's hearing impaired. So if someone can let her know that I'm from Australia, that would be great. I wish we had some captioning available, but I don't think you can. I'm not actually sure if you can actually when you're live. It has to be on the replay. Okay, so I'm going to flip you guys around and see. I've had so much on today. I've had one of those crazy days. So hopefully I will. The Stamparatus is amazing. You guys should see. I want to see my little stamper mascot. This is Princess Peacock, and she is my stamping mascot. I love peacocks. I'm a big fan of peacocks, and she sits at my craft desk. So she's one of the Jellycat. I forget what you call them, the Jellycat things, and she's my peacock. So she sits on my desk. That's one of my stamp, and I got her in New Zealand when I went over there for on stage with a bunch of ladies. So they'll know, because some of them watch my videos. They'll remember that day of finding Princess Peacock. Okay. So I flipped you around, and now just make sure that you're even. Hopefully that's okay. Hopefully you can see me, and then I can see your comments. So this is the card that we're going to be making today with the fun Gnome for the Holidays set. We're going to be adding a few products in, and this is the fun stamped background that you can create with the Stamparatus. And then it's got a fun inside with some red velvet paper and some basic stamping. My son's home and he's yelling at Mum, and I said, I'm on a live video, mate. And then the fun envelope that we've also decorated. So this is doing something a bit different. The colours for me, like I've put early espresso with some real red, so it was a bit different. So here's today's make and take packet, and I've got a few bits and bobs out. So let's get started. Hopefully, I may need to zoom out a little. Okay, so I will get this open. I hope you've all been having a lovely week. So I'll just go through the bits and bobs in the pack. So this is just a normal standard size envelope. And then I have a top folding portrait card base in early espresso. And then my card layers are pretty much always the same. So I have got a piece of real red, actually 2 pieces of real red, cut at 9.9 by 14.3, and then I have 2 pieces here, a crumb cake and a thick whisper white, cut to 9.7 by 14.1, and then I have I'm pretty sure this 1 centimetre or 1.2 centimetres strips, and then I've made them roughly about 12 centimetres, which I forget what that is in inches, of the brushed metallic cardstock and the real red velvet paper. This stuff's gorgeous, but these can just be hello Kylie, these can just be scraps because we're going to snip them anyway. That's okay, Anne, you can watch back the replay. And Christina, I hadn't used my wood stamp either. I'm using it today. Obviously I have used it now, but Sarah's video inspired me to use it. Then you just need a scrap of thick whisper white to do our gnome stamping. And are they coming over? Yeah. Sorry, I'm just talking to my mum in the background.
After I've got to go, they'll come over and do it.
Okay. Then there's a scrap of the real red velvet paper, and that is cut to 2.5 centimetres by 9.7. I'm telling you the wrong thing there. Then this is adorable, and I used this, I believe, did I use this on Monday's video? I think I might have, but now I can't remember which one I did. So this is the Festive felt paper. No, I did not. I'm looking at the card, it's literally right in front of me. So these are the Festive felt sheets, and they come like this. I can show you. You get, these are 6 by 12 sheets, and you get some white, some Just Jade, some early espresso, and real red. They are so much fun. I love felt, and I love anything textural. So the really cool thing about those is you can actually die cut them. So what I have done here is actually die cut them with the layering circles. I'll just grab them out. So I have die cut them with a mixture of the stitch shapes. So this has got the little stitching. And with the felt, this actually will cut the stitches into the felt. Hello, Morgan and Kathleen. So this actually adds the stitching to that. And then for the scallop, I have used the coordinating scallop dies to cut one out of the red felt. And then what we're going to do is actually layer those two together to have the border edgering. That's a new word. So they actually match and coordinate. Then I've got some Mossy Meadow diagonal striped ribbon, some gold thread from the Wonder of the Season combo pack, and this one's a really thick gold thread. It's really beautiful. And then a scrap of cinnamon cider. This is a gorgeous colour. It's one of our in colours. And then some of our Forever Greenery laser cut specialty paper. And Elijah, that's Elijah waving. Do you want to wave properly? They can only see your hand. Say hi. You got to say hello.
Hello.
Yeah. And then some gold Gilded Gems. These are beautiful, and they are definitely a favourite of mine. So for those that don't know, this is the Gilded Gems. They are beautiful and definitely a firm favourite. And so in case you don't know, this is the Forever Gold laser cut specialty paper. So it comes like this, and it's got lots of little pop out pieces of all different sizes and shapes, and they're really, really handy to have. So I have popped out one of those, which I'm going to add to my card for a little bit extra interest. So to get started, what we're going to do is, no mate.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to take it over there away from my computer, please. Oh, life with kids. So I'm just going to pop those to the side, and what we might do is our stamping up first so that I can move that out of the way. So the little gnome that we're going to use today is this little fella here. Really cute. He looks like he's got some snowflakes on his little hat, which is really cute. Yeah, there you can have one. So we're just going to stamp that in Memento Black. Sorry, Wednesdays and Fridays are usually days that I have my son. So usually I will have my videos done before he's home, but today he's home a little bit early. There's people saying hello to you. They're saying hi, Elijah. Laura said hello. Sandy said hello. So did Cassandra. So I've just stamped my little gnome, and then I need to stamp also my... Yes, darling. Yes, I can help you open it. Okay, off you go, mate. Okay, so now I'm going to also stamp my insert. So to do that, I'm just going to add my piece of red velvet to the bottom, because that will help me know where I need to stamp. So I'm just going to... Whoops. I'm just going to add some of my Stampin' Seal, just to add this piece here. And then the stamp for the inside is just a little Christmas wish. And I have actually stamped that on the inside of all my cards this week. So I'm just going to stamp that there. And then I will leave that to the side for just a tick while we get the other pieces stamped. So I'm going to also stamp my piece of cinnamon cider, and I'm going to stamp that with the sentiment that we're using today, which is you're a friend like gnome other, which I thought was so adorable. Now I'm using a bit of a Stampin' Emboss buddy, which we don't sell anymore, but that's okay. You can use baby powder or similar if you've got one. And then I'm going to just stamp, I might just flip that over a little bit. So I'm just going to stamp that down in our Versamark ink, which is the ink that you use when you're in heat embossing. And the reason we use that when we're heat embossing is because it is a thick ink that does not dry quickly, because you need it to be able to adhere to the embossing powder. So we're just going to pour our white embossing powder over the top, and I like to let that sit for a second, and then I'll just tap it off. Now once you've got that, I'm going to heat up my heat gun, which is a little bit off to the side, so you may not be able to see me emboss, but that's okay. Now I can pop this to the side, and then we're going to get to do some Stamparatus fun, which I don't often do with you guys, so that'll be a bit of fun. Right, so I'm going to heat emboss up my sentiment. I just thought I'll get all the stamping done so that we can then focus on putting the card together. We are going to do a touch of colouring, but it's not too much colouring today. Right, so I've got my sentiment all coloured. So now what we're going to do is pop those stamped pieces all together so I don't lose them. And I'm going to move all my leftover pieces just to the side. And then we're going to bring in our Stamparatus. So if you haven't seen our Stamparatus before, this is our stamp positioning tool, and it's a very handy tool to have and great if you are a beginner, because one, it's going to help the stamp placement, but two, you actually don't need to own any blocks if you have this. So if you have this, you can actually get away with stamping anything of any size. So this is very, very handy. So what I'm going to do is bring in my piece of crumb cake, because what we're going to do is stamp the background with our palette stamp, which is this one just here. So this is the Palette Thoughts. Now this stamp is actually designed to be hinge stamped, and hinge stamping is, you'll see in just a tick. So obviously if I stamped this once, it's going to stamp the palette, but you're only going to get one line of the palette wood, whereas we want it to go over the entire background. Now, the Stamparatus will come with two different things. This is a foam mat. You do have to purchase this separately, as this one is a reusable foam mat that has the grid printed on it, but it will actually also come with a foam mat, but it doesn't have the grid. So I really like the grid on mine, so I purchased this a bit of an upgrade separately. But when you're using our cling stamps, which are a red rubber with a bit of a cling, you actually do not need a foam mat, because this is only used when you're using our photopolymer sets that aren't quite as high, so you'll need that little bit of extra padding. So we don't need that today, but I am going to put our grid paper down. As you can see, I've used this with this paper before, because that'll stop my background getting dirty. So what I'm going to do is add this to my background. Now if it helps, you can get a pencil and draw on here which grid lines you have used, and that'll help you line it back up in the right spot. So I'm just going to go there, or the Stamparatus does come with magnets which you can pop on, and that will help hold your piece down, so you can do that also. Now I'm going to line up roughly my bit of palleted wood. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but I'm going to then line that up, and then I'm going to bring over my acrylic plate. Elijah, shh. And then you actually get two of these, so you get one that will go on the top and one that will go on the bottom, but I only need one today, so you'll have two plates. By the way, in Australia, these Stamparatus tools are only $85 from memory. They're very economical and a great purchase to make. For example, if I stamp this down, so I'm going to ink up my stamp to the left-hand side here. And as this is a bigger stamp, or with any Stamparatus really, you're going to turn it upside down and ink it that way. I'm going to bring that back over and stamp this down onto my piece of crumb cake. And I like to run my fingers over and give it a good press, particularly because this is a larger stamp. Then I'm going to pull that up. Now, if that hadn't stamped correctly, because you've got the magnet in place and you know where it's lined up in the grid, you can actually re-ink that if you wish, and stamp it down again, and because it's going back in exactly the same spot, that's going to work totally fine. Now with the hinge jet process, these acrylic plates actually come out and you can move them down like so. Now this palette stamp is actually designed to work if you go down 2 times, so it's called hinge stepping. So what I'm going to do now is ink this up again, and I'm going to move the magnet a bit. And I'm actually have moved this down 2 times, and I can then press my stamp back down, and then look how cool that is. It's lined it all back up for me, and I'm getting a background which is pretty awesome. So now I'm going to move that down 2 again, and we're going to be going slightly, oh no, just on the plate, that's fine. And I'm going to ink up again, press down, and then voila, I have a whole background. That was really easy. Now that you've lined this up, you could put that back to the start, cut a piece the same size, line it back up there, and you could do a heap of these backgrounds really quickly, because you know everything's lined up and ready to go. So it's a really handy way to bulk make cards too. So if you've got something lined up, you could just quickly ink up, stamp, and get lots of stuff done at once. So that's our fun hinge stepping technique with this great tool, the Stamparatus. Underneath is a little storage caddy for your magnets. So you've got 2 magnets that come with it. Just at all times keep these magnets separate, because if you get these magnets together, they will cling to each other in a quick snap motion, and that will cause them to shatter. Potentially shatter, I should say. Sometimes you can pry them apart. We do offer replacements, magnets, but that's not something you really want to be spending your money on. So just make sure you do keep those separate at all times. I usually keep one on my Stamparatus base. So I'll just make sure I'm seeing all the comments. Yep. So there's our background done. That's all our stamping done. We're not doing any more stamping. So now we can start with our other bits and bobs. So we've got to colour our Mr. Gnome. So today I'm keeping it pretty simple. I've got some Stampin' Blends colours here. We're going to colour our hat for our gnome in some old olive. And to do this, you would have seen me colouring a fair bit lately, particularly in Monday's video where we featured a fair bit of colouring. And if you didn't see Monday's video, you can always watch the replay. It's available on both my Facebook page here and also my blog. I always upload my videos after I finish filming them to YouTube. And my YouTube channel you can find easily linked to my page here. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also find my Facebook page linked where you can come and join me to watch these live videos. If you like to join in on the conversation and watch videos live, if that's something you want to do, you're always welcome. So I'm just going to add my colour in. I like to go back. If it's not quite dark enough or there's not enough definition, I can always go back and add some more. So then I'm going to add my petal pink for my skin. So I've got his little nose and his hands. And then I'm going to add a little bit of darker petal pink just here to the edge of his nozzin. And blend that out a little bit. And then we've got his little outfit, which I'm going to do in some real red. Now I'm just trying to remember what's what. So that's his beard. There's his little outfit, and I'll just add some light real red in to blend it out. Hello Angela, how are you? I'm making another gnome for the holidays card today, so I'm getting all my Christmas cards sorted slowly. Okay, so I've got a bit of bleeding, but that's okay because I'm going to go in and colour my beard. Now I'm doing the beard in a mixture of colours. So I'm doing a bit of cinnamon cider. So I'm going to bring in my dark cinnamon cider. And I'm going to do the darkest bits towards the top of his beard with a couple of highlights. And then I'll bring in some light cinnamon cider. Oops. I've got his moustache. Going to do a little bit there, and then I'm going to blend that out a bit with my light crumb cake as my blend. So you do not have to keep your colours to one colour family. So here I'm mixing my cinnamon cider with my crumb cake. You could even add some soft suede in if you like. So what I'm trying to say is that if you want to add a bit of brown to your beard, you don't have to choose between our browns. You can mix them all together. What do they say? The world's your oyster when it comes to adding colours and colouring into projects. There's no rules at all. So I'm just blending him out. And then I'm going to add a little bit of soft suede to his shoes, which I think I picked up the light one. Yes, I did. So I'll just colour the light one. And then I will go in and add some dark soft suede. And then I forgot one of his arms. So I'll just go back and fix that. And I'm just going to get rid of just a tiny bit of bleed there. So I'm using our Colour Lifter, which is a great product of ours that will lift some of the colour if you maybe have a little whoopsie. So I'm then going to go in and add some Mango Melody, which I might just go, what's this one, the light. Just going to add a little bit of Mango Melody and then add a little bit of dark, just for a bit of definition. And then just for the centre of the bauble, I'm just going to add a touch of red. So that's all our colouring done, which makes this fun little dude. And then we are going to add some fun little textural element, but I'll do that at the end because it's going to take a bit to dry. So I want to be able to show you and then leave it to dry after the video so you guys don't have to wait. So now these gnomes don't come with dies, but they're super easy to fussy cut. My biggest tip when fussy cutting is to move the paper, not the scissors. So curve the paper around your sharp blade of your scissors and you'll get a much easier and rounded cut without having to move your scissors too much. So it may look like I'm moving my scissors, but I'm actually moving my paper, and it makes the whole process a lot more simple. Angela, I just ran into Julianne in shiploads. It was funny. We were in there and we were both in the gardening aisle. Surprise, surprise. Okay, so I'm just going to chop away some of the excess so it makes it easier to work with. And then I'll go a bit closer. And just chop around my gnome. These little gnomes are so adorable. One of our really great sets. They come complete with sentiments. So, oh, you have lunch today. That's nice. Okay, so that's that bit done. Now we can start assembling our little bits and bobs so I can pop the inside down. What I am going to do to the inside though is add a little bit of our gold thread that I showed in the beginning of the video. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of the Stampin' Seal to hold it down, and then I'm going to pop some gold thread over like so. Oops, did I just come to the end of my Stampin' Seal? I think I might have. Yep. Well, this is fun. I can show you. No, hold on. Do I want to show you when I'm not confident with doing it? Oh my goodness. Okay, I might do that in just a tick. Let's switch to glue, hey? Right, so I'm going to add some glue and then some of, put this on our base of real red for the inside of the card. I'm a liquid glue girl at heart anyway. I love my liquid glue, especially this Tombow. Beautiful. I did see those, Angela, but I didn't have a good look. I'm a Stampin' Blends girl through and through. Okay, so that's our inside done. So then we can adhere our piece that we have stamped using our Stamparatus, and we're going to adhere this to our piece of real red. Now with this glue you do not need to add much. It will ooze out if you add too much, and the smallest bit of this glue does a very strong hold, so you don't need much at all. So I'm going to then adhere this down to our card base. So, which I chose Early Espresso for a bit of a vintage look, because I tend to do bright and happy all the time, and I wanted something, still happy, but I still wanted to do something a little bit different. So then I'm going to pull in my piece of real red velvet paper, which I wish you could feel the paper because it's really gorgeous. Now I'm just going to cut some little angles on these, so literally just going to cut them both freehand at an angle, and then I can stick them down. I wish I could be naughty and use, actually I don't think this one has any, oh no it does. I'm going to use an old adhesive, so just know that this is not available anymore. What's a bet it will run out. Bets are on. Actually, I've popped the red velvet down first. I'm just going to do that in a bit of an angle, and then place my brush metallic foil, which this is our beautiful new foil that is in this new mini catalogue, and it may look like normal foil, but it has a bit of a brushed appearance to it. I'm not sure if you can see in the video. Really fun. And then I'm going to adhere down my felts. Now these can be a bit tricky, but definitely worth giving a go. So what you need to do is you can try and stick the felt on top and brush and try to get the glue dot to stick. But I found it a lot easier to grab something like you take your pick tool and peel off your glue dot. Now there is a right and wrong side to this, so this is the wrong side. And I'm just going to get that to kind of grab onto the felt and then take your pick tool away. So that's the easiest way to adhere felt down, is to get it to stick and pull it away. And I want to apply a few glue dots because felt can be tricky to adhere, and I think that's why people shy away from it, because it's a tricky one to adhere down to a card, but it's worth it and it gives you a lot of texture and fun appeal to your cards. So now I've got 4 glue dots on there, and I'm just going to layer it over the top of my scalloped piece. Really give it a good press. And then that's ready to go. But before I stick that down, I'm actually going to add some adhesive from my naughty contraband snail that we don't have in stock anymore. And I'm going to sort of do a bit of a zigzag with my ribbon. I like to place it on my card, and then I can apply it to my card and give it a trim after I've stuck it. That way I know that it's going to go down roughly where I want it. So if I feel that I need a bit more adhesive on a zigzag bow sort of thing going on like this, I'll just adhere a glue dot, and then I'll grab a pair of scissors and just snip it if it's a little bit too long. Now the reason we were doing that first is because we are going to adhere straight over the top, but I'm also going to add some of the leftover gold thread, and this is from the Wonders of the Season ribbon combo pack. So this also comes with a big shaded spruce ribbon, but I really love gold thread. I love the gold thread out of the Forever Greenery suite, and I love this one too. So when I do my little thread circles like this, I just do that, and then I add a bit of 1 or 2 glue dots to where it all joins, and I'm still holding it together with my thumb, and then I'll stick it down to the card like so, and I find that that is enough to adhere it in place until whatever I'm placing over it is going to go on top. So I'm already going to have additional adhesive from where this goes over the top, and so that will then be enough to hold that in place permanently. So I'm going to do the same thing here where I'm adding the glue dots and pulling my take your pick tool away, and I'm going to add again probably 4 or 5 glue dots, because this stuff can be tricky to adhere, but it is definitely doable. So I'll probably place 1 more glue dot, and then I'm going to stick that down.
It's been good for me.
Are you coming back?
Not today.
Are you going back
John and
tomorrow?
Morgan are coming over.
Oh, okay. Cool. So I'm going to stick that down, and then I'm going to grab my little piece from our Forever Greenery laser cut, and I'm going to stick that in there. So I'm going to grab a glue dot and just pop that in. It probably only needs 1. I'm just going to pop that in like so. And then all we've got left to do is add our little gnome friend, which...
Oh, you have a little gnome?
Yeah, I do have a little gnome friend, Mosh. It's called Declan. I'm married to him. So yeah. Sorry, that was my mum leaving.
When you married to, oh God.
Yes, Mummy's married to a very short man, which Mummy calls her little gnome. Right, so then I'm going to place... enough. Okay, so I've placed my little gnome on there. Now I've done him with glue dots as well, just to make sure it adheres down. And then I've got my little sentiment, which is stamped on the cinnamon cider. And this one needs to be trimmed down a little bit. So I'm going to bring in my little mini trimmer. And I find it easiest... Don't, Elijah, take your football elsewhere, thank you. I'm going to... yes, you do have a football. Oh, that's disgusting. Off you go. Boys, honestly.
I mean girls.
Okay, so then I am enough. Out of the video. You started being naughty as soon as Nan left. Funny that. Enough. Stop it. Or there'll be no takeaway tonight. So Wednesday's a takeaway night in our house. And it is currently kids' choice today, but it won't be if someone's naughty. I prefer it when it's adults' choice because I think I pick yummier foods. So Wednesdays when it's Elijah's choice, it's usually only one thing. And I don't actually really eat McDonald's. Fun fact about Kayla, because I don't really enjoy it. So
McDonald's.
Yucky.
Yummy.
Okay. So I'm going to stick my little sentiment down, and then all we've got left to do, well actually we do have something else, but I will show you that in just a tick. So we're going to stick our little Gilded Gems down. These are so much fun. I love these things. Oh, I've got the sniffles now. It's getting to that hay fever time of year. Who else experiences hay fever?
Me.
It's a whole bunch of fun, isn't it? So I've got
I get hay fever.
I know you do. So I've got all my little gems and pieces down, and then I'm going to bring in two things. My Wink of Stella and my Crystal Effects. So the Wink of Stella, I'm going to do my usual and spritz that on the back of my card. Just add a little bit of that. And then if you saw Monday's video, you will have seen me add some Crystal Effects to the card. This is a really fun thing to do. I'm going to zoom in a little touch because it adds a whole other fun dimension. So I'm just going to add some. It's like the old, I always forget the name of this, glossy accents. So I'll just carefully add it, and I'm adding it to his nose, and it will dry into a really cool, like, I'm not sure if you can see it, it's going to dry really nice and 3D. So if you can see this one, it has dried and given him a fun little nose. So there's our card done. So I'll zoom back out again. Hello, Serene. So I can't see who's joining when I'm actually doing the card face down because it won't let me see that. Yes, Sandy, this stamp set makes making wood grain paper yourself really easy. So this was a fun card today, and there's the inside, which we have decorated with the beautiful red velvet paper as well, and added a little sentiment on the inside. And if you didn't catch me, here's the Monday card that we did just on Monday just gone with our gnome and some colouring. And I've got one more card this week. So don't forget before I go that, and also, I'm going to forget everything today. The envelope, I have used the envelope dies and added some trimming the town paper just to decorate it with a nice little scalloped edge. So they're all coordinated and ready to go for my Christmas season cards. Don't forget, if you missed the start of the video, that you can get all of these make and take packets for free. For this week's Gnome for the Holidays cards, you simply have to order $30 or more in my online store and use the host code. If you want to get the glimmer paper free as well, worth $10.50, simply order $50 or more with the same host code, and you'll get all of this plus the October Stampin' Society tutorial free. So I've really enjoyed being with you guys and definitely love doing it more often. This is not done, but here's a sneak peek of what I've been working on today. So I'm having a bit of a go with the poinsettia. So I can't wait to make some cards with this beautiful set, and can't wait to see what happens with that one. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some inspiration. Be sure to get your Stamparatus out. This is an amazing tool worth every penny, and yeah, it makes techniques with stamping so much easier. So definitely check that out. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Give me a like and a share. Would love it and appreciate it so much. It helps me to bring these videos to you more often. Thank you so, so much. And Laura, I'll get back to you on that. And Sandy, thank you so much. I love being online with you guys more often. It means the world to me to be chatting and crafting and doing all the things I love with you guys. So happy crafting, big crafty hugs, guys. Bye.